Alright, here's the glass. When you sit it in, you want to sit it on top of those yellow shims and make sure that you don't pinch the gasket on the back side. So you kind of slide it in from the front, turn it, and then we make sure that the gasket on the back side is not pinched between the glass. This is a glazing spoon. If you decide to glaze them yourself, we will send you one. You slightly lift this up, and the yellow one on the bottom, you push it all the way to the back so you barely see the yellow in the front. Take a nice picture of that, Vinny, so you see that the front of that is even with that. So now whatever gap you have side to side in between there, we have different width glazing shims. So I'm going to stick a red one on this side, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to stick a red one on this side, just to make sure we can square everything up real nice. The glazing shims go blue is the thinnest, then it's red, then it's yellow, then it's green. So once again, I just put the shovel in here, move it over a little bit. That gives me room in here to slide it over a little bit. So now I got that. Then you kind of feel and see what thickness you can stick in there. Alright, it looks like a yellow there. And it looks like a red there. So now we have everything in there nice and square. Back up a little bit there. Okay, so the next step would be is if you want to take the glass back out, I would put these glazing beads in without wet glazing them. What I actually have to do, and I'll show you when I do one, this is the sash. What we do is we do this. Okay, we put some wet glazing in there, and then the glazing beads go in. The only thing is, once that wet glazing is in there, it's going to be very hard to pull that back out. So I'm going to show you real quick how I'm wet glazing the sash section, which that I'm going to show you in the next video how it comes out. So the corners, get a close up of this, you kind of put the wet glazing in here, and it goes all around the corners. Now I already got it where you see the short glazing bead is in there, that's already wet glazed. And then wherever you see these shims, you run a nice bead of wet glazing, just like that. Okay, and then, as you notice, whenever you put the glazing beads in, you put the shortest one first because they're hard to bend, and then you put the longer one in. You stick the bottom in, you tap it down, you bow it out a little bit, and when you get it in, with a rubber mallet hammer, you put that in there. Now, that being said, if I was to glaze the center section to the point where you wanted to take it back out again, I wouldn't put these glazing beads all the way in. I leave a little gap in them so you can start them. I'm going to show you how that works. I would leave a little crease in there like this, so that when you come and want to take the glazing bead out, over here, Benny, you already have the crease started that lets you take that glazing bead out. So I'm going to finish this one off. So the operating sashes, I'm going to show you how to take those out with the glass in it. So now, with the fixed piece of glass, I'm going to go ahead and snap these glazing beads in, but not all the way, because after I call you and if you tell me that you want me to finish glazing these, then I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the caulking in there. I would recommend, being that you're using the fasteners, that you don't need the access. Usually when we don't use the clips that we're sending, the installation screws go from the inside through the frame. You're not using that. So the benefit is, if I glaze this and wet glaze this for you, you don't have to worry about pulling the glass out. Whenever you pull the glass out, turn around here, Vinny. The edges of the glass is really tough, but if you sit it down in the wrong spot or you touch an edge of a glass on a concrete corner, this glass will crack. Once it's in the frame, it's tough as nails from both sides, so I'm going to leave it up to you. I can wet glaze these 100% complete. This is one of your bigger windows. Then you can remove these two sashes, which I'm going to show you in the next video, which I think will make the window light enough for you to be able to install it, put all the clips on it, leave this glass in there so that the glass doesn't get cracked or whatever, and then hang these sashes back in there. So, as I said, here it is. I'm going to snap these in there just to kind of show you. Once again, I'm using the shorter ones. And this little groove just starts right here. You start one corner off. Put one corner in. Another corner. And notice I'm leaving a little bit of a bubble in there so that if I speak to you and you said I want to take the glass out, you can take it out. I stick this in there, hit it, tap the top, you get it all the way into the corner, bend this one, tap it in there lightly. I'll leave the crease in there, and then the other one. There we go. Put that in there. Tap it down. Put that in there. You definitely want a mallet hammer, because I have a metal hammer in my hand right now. I'm sure I would have cracked that glass by now. So that's how the fixed glass goes in. You saw everything except for me putting the wet glazing in here. So again, we can turn this one off and we'll turn it back on for the other one.